Present.
Trustee Muller.
Present.
Trustee Schaller.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Reinders.
Present. Public comment. Do we have anybody for public comment? No, ma'am? Okay, thank you. Discussion, Blue Label Properties, special use permit for outdoor storage, 12649 West 159th Street.
property is you want a 5-year, special use permit to run this while you sell it, so you can get out from under it, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, I'm not against any of that, but it just seems to me there are some hurdles in between here and there. And I don't wanna be the guy that says we're pro-business and, against government overreach, and then we're telling you what to do with your land, right? So I'm kinda caught in a pickle with how we can make this right and make everyone happy with it.
Director Grupa, did you have something you wanted to?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to say, it might not have been in the staff report, but I hope that it was, is that Mr. Strugielski noted that it was kind of a question mark whether that they needed the business license to be on to do what they're doing operating on the south side of 159th Street. So,
Well, it's not being run under the landscaping company
Or the car wash.
or the car wash. It's not being run under either one of those names.
No, Blue Label property. We're more than willing to take the proper steps and go through the proper channels to get a business license if that's what we have to do.
I suppose, Mayor Pro Tem, if I just may add one more thing.
Sure.
I think it would be beneficial if we looked at this use, that it could be done on this property, regardless of the Army Corps of Engineers and the wetlands. We're basically just trying to see, get the temperature at the board. How does everybody feel about the proposed use and the proposed concept plan?
Well, I think the thing that bothers me the most is the Army Corps of Engineers, is if you tamper with anything from the Army Corps of Engineers, when they've already given you guidelines to follow, or they've already been out there and you're now changing the path of a waterway, I think that's a little above us.
Well, I have reached out on 3 separate occasions to the Army Corps. As you all know, the government's been shut down. I have left messages. I have not received a call back. We are still waiting to hear back from them. And the only reason the Army Corps was involved in the beginning anyways was for the development of those buildings that were to be built. We're not really building any buildings. We're just parking trucks on top of stone. So there's no permanent changes that have been made.
Along the creek, we're gonna put silt fence and silt stocking along there to catch anything that would go towards the creek.
But didn't you change the path of the creek? That's the problem. You changed the path of the creek.
Okay, that.
I think they inhibited the flow, not to interrupt you, but I believe they inhibited the flow because I believe there's a culvert in the creek right now where you're transporting trailers back and forth from parcel to parcel.
Right.
Because I've been on that property.
Can I explain why? Can I explain why?
Go ahead.
We talked to Brett, and we were on the neighbor's property with several tractor trailers. And I said, well, we're proactive, we'll get started and we'll move them over. So in order to move those over, I had to put a temporary culvert in there because taking those trailers out on 159, I could not cross the median. And if we're dragging one, that's very dangerous. And there was over, 50 tractor trailers. So we put it in temporary just to move the equipment all over.
Is it gone now? Is it gone now? Is it removed now at this point?
We were told not to do anything, so we're waiting to move it. We're willing to remove it. Now, I want to make a couple other statements. As you know, that Jude Law and the state was working on 159th Street. I had a water issue problem that Brett knows about. That 159th, every time after they were completed, it was flooding. It wasn't flooding 6 inches. It flooded 1.5 to 2 feet. I have pictures here showing you that. So I talked to Brett. I talked to the lawyer for IDOT, and nobody, they kind of laughed at me. So one day, I think it was in December, after a rain, I went across the street. We took the guys, and we found Jude Law had left 2x4, all kinds of equipment, tree trimmings, everything that was washed into the ditch. So what we did, and that was blocking that waterway from going through. So we cleaned it out, we took the ditch, dug it out, and made it go straight so it gets towards the wetland. That's all we did with that ditch, and now it runs fine. Now, 159 does not flood anymore, and it has not flooded anymore for over 2 years. So I took it upon myself because nobody was listening. And I have all those emails, nobody was listening, and we made it work. So it works just fine.
So just to clarify, because I'm hearing two different things too. I know you put in the temporary box culvert, I've seen it, but did you change the path of or you just added that in? I know you're saying you cleaned it out.
I added that
supplied us is canceled. It says canceled, yeah, it says that it was canceled actually in 2019. This year, canceled, yes, 2000. Okay. Okay, now, you also are aware that that property is not zoned industrial. Okay, so that leaves me. Just a couple things. We don't have a business license, number one, for the business that you're running on this property. Number two, we don't even know if our village, if this board is gonna approve a zoning change, because right now you're zoned commercial, and and anything with, dealing with trucking should be industrial. So, I mean, that's another question that this board has. You know, are they going to allow, or are they going to vote to rezone that area into industrial? And like trustee Lepore said, we try to be as business friendly and keep our government out of the businesses here. But if we're not doing our job by making sure that, number one, there's a business license for the business, number two, that we don't know if there's any hazard to the environment with the oil or gas or anything going into the ground, or even just the little bit of restructuring you did to the creek that's there. So there's a lot of things that come into play here. So I think, number one, this board needs to decide whether or not, are we going to rezone this area industrial in order for them to move forward, to be able to continue a business?
So does that mean in order for us to park the trailers, it has to be rezoned? I was under the impression that we could do that with a special use.
He'll help you with that.
Okay, Director Gruber, can you answer that question?
Yes, so the zoning ordinance has conflicting definitions. One is outdoor storage that lists vehicle parking. Outdoor storage is permitted with a special use permit in the C3 zone district. The definition of motor freight terminal also talks about overnight parking of vehicles. That's only allowed in the I1 zone district with a special use permit. So we unfortunately have two conflicting definitions. We have sort of, at least staff has received some direction that this would be processed as a special use permit for outdoor storage, but we could also look at it that this is a motor freight terminal and therefore would not be permitted under any circumstance with the current zoning.
Right.
Well, and if that was the case, then we would request that we could apply for a zoning change.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So a motor freight terminal actually moves freight, and they have a dock, and they have gasoline, and they have oils, and they have fuel on site. That is the difference between a motor freight facility, and a parking facility, such as an extra or something like they're doing, a third-party type situation, really doesn't, they don't line up. They're two different entities. So I really don't think that, I think with a special permit, they could probably do it. I believe that if it was going to be industrialized into the motor freight, and there was trucks coming and going, and freight being transferred, and there was oil and tanks on the ground, I think that. So I'm trying to help you guys at the same time. But I do believe what Trustee Schaller said, and Trustee Lepore alluded to as well, and myself, is I think that before we can really do anything, guys, to even help you, I think that we have to have some kind of environmental study to make sure that that land is not polluted, because if that land is somehow polluted or leaching into that creek, and we give you this in advance of knowing that, we're setting ourselves up. So I would really like to see you get something, and I don't know if that's through the EPA, and maybe you can help Chris or Brett, what's their avenue for that? And if you had something like that telling us more about the property and the land itself, it would be easier for us to give you direction.
Mayor Pro Tem, may I-
Go ahead, Director Gruber.
Thank you. One of the things that I'd like to ask the trustees is that this environmental study, the engineering, it can take a considerable amount of time. We're talking years potentially. Are the trustees comfortable with allowing the use to continue during that time while there's an investigation? Because right now, I sometimes receive direction from administration that the use should be, that it should cease. So I'm just trying to find out.
Okay.
How to do what I understood was my time.
Well, I can go around to the trustees again. Trustee Holhauser?
I'm gonna pass right now, I'm looking for something that I thought I read earlier. and
Okay.
can't find it.
Trustee Lepore?
Yes, thank you. I would like to say, first off, 159th Street is gonna be a major commercial development in the future. Right now, we're not ready for it. Now, is there a rush to develop anything over there? There's not. Could we work here and try and, would I be in favor of a short-term special use permit, non-transferable, one time? Yes, I would. I think that at this point, we got a mess here, and there's only, cleaning up is not gonna be, not save the cost. But in order to proceed here in a logical manner, I feel like that, like Ruben said, it's gonna take years for a study possibly, and get everything back to us in front of us. We're kind of in a what comes first, like the chicken or the egg kind of situation here. But now that we're already here, why are we penalizing for something that's going on? It's been here for years. I don't see the urgency to rush to judgment here and get this out of here. Maybe the soil's fine. Maybe the Army Corps has no issues. Maybe this is much to do about nothing. But until we know more, I don't feel comfortable in saying, yes, let's shut this down immediately and haul the trucks out of there. I don't think that's a rush to judgment, yes. So would I be in favor of a short-term special use permit to let them extend their business operations? Yes, I would. Thank you.
Trustee Mason?
I wouldn't want to have any liability, so I wouldn't want to give any kind of short-term permit, because that's kind of patting them on the back and telling them it's okay, and creating ourselves a liability issue. So, am I all for making them shut it down? Maybe not. Maybe they can. How many trailers and tractors? Because I don't say it's just trailers, because I know there's tractors there, because I drive by and see them all the time.
There's a list there.
All right, yeah, well, that doesn't break it down, whether it's a tractor or a trailer, does it?
It does.
So it does it? So how many, can you tell me? Or do you want me to do the homework? Blue label rentals? So the Volvos you're telling me are gonna be tractor, okay, tractor, okay. So you got quite a bit of tractors on that property.
Correct.
Wow. That's, I kept hearing that it was trailer, but there's a ton of tractors here. Probably almost as many as you have trailers.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what you're really asking for is to store tractors and trailers.
Correct.
Okay? Well, to me, it changes things a little bit more, because my impression was it was, the vast majority of everything was gonna be trailers. Trailers don't leak except for by the hulls, by the wheels, So tractors do leak.
Tractors and trailers.
So,
Probably more beat up trucks than he has running over that stuff. I'm
Director
just saying
Westcott,
to-
can you maybe give us a little bit of education on like a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of an environmental study?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that if you were to just do a general soil sample testing on site, right, you could get a pretty quick turnaround with that. I would say maybe a couple months. I think when Director Krupa is talking about the yearly process, that's more of establishing an approved engineering plan and then submitting that plan to the Army Corps of Engineers. To kind of clear that up as well, the Army Corps of Engineers is not necessarily, at least as of late, they've changed, over the last couple of years, like I was saying, with the jurisdictional determinations. It's not like you can just call the Army Corps of Engineers and ask them, can I do this? You need
Right.
to formally submit a environmental study is, you know, ground zero, starting here, right? That's something that you can do quickly in, you know, within a month or two. Get out there and run the samples and test it for you. And then you can, you know, comprehend, is it contaminated, is it hot or not? And then that next phase is if you did want to move towards using that special use permit, right, the next step then would be to put that formality behind it, right, and making sure that we have sufficient stormwater detention on site, which they've started that process with us, but it's making sure that we're catching everything there, right, all the impervious on site, delineating the wetlands, and then submitting that to the Army Corps. For their approval of whatever they need to do for restoration in that stream over there.
Okay.
Mr. Gruba.
Attorney, trustees, have anything else?
I think Mr. Rubin had something.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
If I may, I just want to say that staff has been working with the applicant to try to move this forward over a year. The progress has been slow. To try to help move this along, would it be worth entertaining, saying, trying to reach certain milestones by a certain time, asking for an environmental study within the next 3 months? If one is not obtained, things must be removed from the property, or 4 months, or whatever the case may be, but staff is having difficulty.
Sure, by spring.
Moving the scope.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, I think that's amenable, yeah.
I think in establishing a timeline to keep the applicants in compliance would be reasonable. I think that's more than fair.
Yeah, I think so too, more than
I
fair.
agree.
Yeah.
Stemming off what trustee Lepore said, I'm not in agreement with making him haul everything out, move everything from the property. I think it ends up being a snowball effect. You get a one-man show that might be parking his gravel hauler there that he has, and he has nowhere else to put it. Now we pushed an issue onto another small business owner, and possibly another, and another, and another. But I do agree, you know, the study that needs to be done, I'm not in agreement with. Move everything out right now.
No, I would say no. I would say like Director Gruber just said. And Mr. Schaller, I mean, I apologize, but you know, it's difficult, and we are trying to help you. So maybe not move them up, but we have to make sure that it's accessible. Those tractors obviously work. They can move trailers as somebody did soil testing, correct? So maybe.
this timeline for you. It's not binding. It can only be binding at the next village board meeting or a special board meeting, and the next village board meeting is gonna be the second week of December. Okay? Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you,
all
gentlemen.
right, thank you so much, gentlemen, thank you.
One question, does the village have like a wetland consultant?
Like bitchy consultant engineer for wetland, and we can talk with.
I can give you guys some contacts to go through.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, if you can send that over.
Director Gruba, quickly,
Thank you, yes, very, very quickly. And I just wanted to say, it seems like everyone might be on board with the idea that this is not a hard no.
right,
So, okay,
Correct.
just so that there's an avenue.
correct,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Correct.
Trustee Scheller, did you have something you wanted to add real quick?
Nothing further, the,
Okay.
village attorney took care of it.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, no, Candace, please call the roll,
No, not yet.
You want me to call it?
please.
Thank you.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Trustee
Yep.
Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Scheller?
Aye.
Trustee Muller? Trustee Goldhauser?
Okay, okay, thank you, everybody. 5-minute recess.